Hi, Junior Rangers. I'm really excited that you've joined us today. My name is Ranger Ann, and today I'm not in my Ranger uniform. I'm actually wearing what people here, women here at the mission would have worn. I have a skirt, a katone, and today I'm cooking, so I have my apron with me. And what are we cooking? We're gonna cook a food that was really famous here at the mission. In fact, they ate it every day. Corn was grown here. We had lots of corn. It was one of the main foods here at the mission. And we're going to teach you how to make tortillas today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, question for you out there. How many of you have ever been to La Purisima Mission State Historic Park, where we are today? Well, if you've never been here, we're about 2.5 hours north of Los Angeles and about 3.5 hours south of San Francisco, right here in the central coast of California. It is a beautiful day, and I'm really excited because this 200-year-old mission is a really cool place to teach people about history, because we get our hands on. And one of my favorite ways to teach about history is to cook, because food has been around a long time. There's a lot of great recipes out there that have been around for a long time, and it tells us about the people and what they ate. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do our cook along. Hey, before we do that, today we're going to be practicing safe measures, because we want to make sure we're practicing keeping that curve down on the COVID virus. Unfortunately, we can't have you here in the park, and I really miss having you here in the park. It's so much fun to interact with you in person. I'm so looking forward to a day soon, hopefully, that we can do that. But today we're going to be doing Junior Rangers. I'm going to be working with two of my former Junior Rangers who are now junior docents. Those are trained volunteers who have come to work at our mission with me to teach you how to cook the tortillas. And we're going to be making sure we're keeping our social distance. We're doing a program, and so we won't be wearing masks. In between the show, though, we will be. And of course, we're washing our hands frequently. So the girls inside have already washed their hands and they're ready to cook. So if you're ready for us, we're ready for you. Hey, let's go take a look. Today, we're going to be cooking in the corporal's apartment. He was the highest ranking military officer here at the mission. Let's go see where he lived. Come on. Look. How many of you guys have stink bugs? Can you see? Look out for the stink bug. You don't want to step on them. All right, come with me, guys. Come on. Come on in the corporal's apartment. Here we have our two Junior Rangers. They're now our volunteers that have been trained, so we call them docents. Right over here we have Miss Kelly and Miss Kendall. And Kelly, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm gonna be a senior at one of the high schools here this year. And I've been a docent at this mission since 2015, and I love helping out.
Indeed, it's a lot of fun having her here. And Kendall, how about you?
I'm going to be in 8th grade this year, and I have been a docent for about a year.
Wonderful, and it's so fun. I love working with our Junior Rangers, and I love it when they become our junior docents. So we're going to jump right in. So we're cooking along. This is so cool. Now, I'm really excited because making tortillas is easy and it's really fun. And so Kelly, what ingredients are we going to need for our tortillas today?
So for our tortillas, we only need 2 ingredients. We're going to be using masa and water. So if you guys have masa at home, have you guys felt it yet? So the masa is very soft and powdery, and masa is just corn flour.
So Kendall, can you show us what this starts off with before it becomes masa? What do we start with?
This is nixtamal. They're like corn kernels almost, except for the fact that they are soft. See, you can push your thumb into the center of them. However, you can't do that with current corn kernels.
So that would be ground up on a mano and a metate. It's a special machine, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of work to do that. So we have our masa all ready, and we'll have to do another junior Rangers where we grind corn, right? Okay. So if you at home are ready, Kelly, would you show us how much we need of what?
Sure. So for the masa, we need 2 cups. We're using bowls as our measuring cups today. So we're going to be taking 2 cups of masa. And then we're going to take 1.5 cups of water. So I'm going to start with 1 cup of water, and then I'm going to start mixing. And then in a second, I'm going to add some more. So you can use your hands or you can use a spoon, but you want to make sure that everything gets mixed up. Then I'm going to add about 1/2 cup more. And then mix it all up. And this recipe will make about 10 tortillas. So it looks like I need just a little bit more water.
So Kelly, when we're looking at maybe the outcome, the texture that we're looking for, what are some characters of what we want to see? Should it be powdery still? Or
No,
nice and moist?
it should be nice and moist, and it should be more like this, like more like a dough. So we made little sample balls right there. So that's about the size you want to make it, and it's about the texture that you want it to be. Right now, mine's a little too powdery.
So how many of our folks attending here have made tortillas before? It's fun to share these recipes once you make them and make them with your friends. It's a great thing to do at dinner time. You can serve it with all kinds of things. At home, those of you at home, tell the person next to you what you like to put on your tortilla.
And then when it's done, kind of looks like that. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna divide this in half so me and Kendall can both work with it. There you go. And we're going to roll them into balls about this size. Well, about this size.
So do you do all the balls first?
I like to do all the balls first because then it's easier to smash them in succession.
Well,
and then it's faster to cook.
And two, if you're trying to make equal size dough balls or tortillas, you want your balls to be about the same size. So.
Yes.
How's the dough rolling going at home? Hopefully you're cooking along with us. And if you're cooking along with us, right about now is when you want to start heating up your comal or your frying pan or griddle, because you want it nice and hot when you go to cook your tortillas. So it's a good time to turn that on. And I would put it on about medium or high. You can always turn up the heat if you're on a gas stove or electric stove. Those are looking really good, girls. So Kelly, what do you like to put on your tortillas?
I like to put butter, the homemade churned butter that we make here at the mission. And I also like to put salsa.
Salsa. How about you, Kendall? What do you like to put on your tortilla?
I like salsa.
You like salsa. I like roasted chicken on mine. Or beans too. We've actually made tacos and we've even made enchiladas using this tortilla recipe And it's just really makes a difference, doesn't it, when you're doing homemade tortillas?
It does.
It's so good. So at home, do any of you at home, are your families tortilla makers? Do you make tortillas, or your grandma or your auntie or your uncle, someone like that? In my family, we never made tortillas. So this was fun for me to learn at the mission, and then I brought it home to my family. And while we've been sheltering in place, that's when we've really been honing our skills on tortilla making. So it's a lot of fun and oh, so good. As Kelly said, even just with butter and salt, it's delicious. Oh, this looks good. So it looks like we have our balls, and they look really nice and equal size. So what's next, ladies? What are we going to do?
So next, we're going to smash them.
Okay.
We're gonna make them flat so that we can cook them.
If you don't have what we have here, we have a tortilla press. If you don't have a tortilla press, you can use a rolling pin, and I would highly recommend using parchment paper. That's what this is. We cut the parchment paper. When you're pressing out a tortilla, it's really good to have parchment paper or plastic paper so it doesn't stick to whatever you're flattening it with. So you can use a rolling pin, or you can even use a heavy pan just pressed down on the tortilla bowl and make it nice and flat. So, or if you are skilled, you can make it by hand.
Yeah, I did that yesterday.
Ooh, okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're placing it in the middle, right in the middle, and then we're going to put the parchment over it, and then we're gonna press it down and press it to make it flat.
Wonderful. Oh, look,
And
Kendall's
then
got hers all done. Kendall, do you want to put yours on the pomal? So over here we have a hot pomal. We cook with charcoal, and you just throw it right on there. Whoops, that's all right. Yeah, I would just leave it like that. When you're cooking your tortilla, you want it nice and hot on the pomal. Ideally, you're going to see it steam. My fire has been going lower and lower while we've been getting going on our program today. So I'm hoping this is hot enough, but you really want a hot pomal or frying pan or griddle. It's just a hot cooking surface. You don't need any oil. We didn't use any oil. And it should steam a little bit, and you're going to have it on once. Ooh, this is steamy. Nice. Kendall, look at that. It's steamy. And then, of course, you're going to need a spatula. Now, if you ever get to see some of the gals who cook tortillas regularly, they do this with their fingers. That is not recommended until you're an absolute expert. But I can see it's turning on the edges here, so I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. And ideally, your tortilla should puff. If it's hot enough, it's going to puff. And there's a story. I have a new friend. Her name is Maria. She's from East LA, and I met her this weekend. And we talked about making tortillas. And I said, now I've heard they're supposed to puff. And her auntie in Mexico taught her to make tortillas on her comal. And while she was cooking, her tortilla puffed, and she was only 15 years old. And her auntie said, well, now you are going to get married because your tortilla puffed. So careful out there. If your tortilla is puffing. Oh, Kendall, I think your tortilla is puffing. This is lots of fun. Now, you want to make sure your tortilla sits there for a little bit. And then we can turn it back over this way. One more time. Oops, I don't want to lose that in the fire. This is a coal burning stovetop from the mission era. And so it's a little trick to use, but this is a heat source. This is how you would cook everything. And so pozole, tortillas, all kinds of things we can cook here on the stovetop. And the coal goes in here. There's actually a little, if you come over here, I can show you. There's actually an iron grid that sits in here, and then you put the charcoal on top, leaving an air pocket in here. And if you look over here and here, you can see just exactly what that is. So if this were a wood burning stove, wood takes up a lot more space than charcoal to get this hot. And so you would have a larger place for your fuel for your fire. Hey, does anybody know why we have that air pocket underneath the charcoal? It has to do with the 3 things you need for fire. Do you ladies know the 3 things you need for fire?
Air.
Air is one of them. What else? Fuel. And the match brings the heat, right? You gotta have heat. So this is your air pocket to keep that going once you get nice and hot. So once you get your tortilla made, you can put it on a little plate. Oh, look at our plate, it's getting full. So I'm gonna put it on my little cloth here. But you can keep these in a little container and cover them up, just like that. And you can put them in the oven and keep them warm. In Mexico, they actually have a little terracotta dish that has a lid, and you put that in the oven and it keeps them perfect and moist until you're ready to use them. And like I said, now ladies, have you made these at home and did you turn them into anything? Like, did you make dinner? Did you make snacks? What did you do?
I made a little thing to go with my dinner last night.
Okay, so what did you make to go? So you just made like a little side of tortillas?
Yeah, I just made a little side of tortillas, and then I set out some salsa for everyone to dip the tortillas in.
Oh, and how did everybody like your tortillas?
Everyone loved them.
Were there any left at all?
No, actually. But we have a lot more masa, so I'm making more.
Oh, good. That's wonderful. How about you, Kendall? Do you?
We made tacos before.
Tacos with them. Oh, so good, isn't it? Yeah, and we've made tostadas. The tostada is a flat, kind of like a taco, and we always say you glue it down with beans. So you start with beans, and then whatever you want, you just kind of press it in there, and you leave it flat. Hey, really quick, let me show you something about a tortilla that is absolutely historic. Is that tortillas are often eaten like this. And if this were a bowl of soup, you would take your tortilla and take your soup, and it was like an edible spoon. So if it's okay with your mom, you can eat like that at the table, but sometimes we have to use our manners, right? We use things, but certain things are finger foods, and definitely tortillas are finger foods. So really cool, huh? All right, so Junior Rangers, that was really fun. Would you like to see a little bit more of the mission while we're here? All right, come on, let's go. Let's go see one of the places where we would go maybe to see the animals. Shall we show them the animals outside, you guys? What do you think? And we can show them the grounds on the way. Would you guys like that? Come on, let's go. Okay, so let me give Emily our hotspot. Sorry, we're going back into our modern time where we have to have a hotspot with our iPad. And let's see, Kendall and Kelly, come with me. Maybe we can show them some of our favorite people here at the mission. We're actually going to walk right over here on the El Camino Real. This is the King's Royal Road, and it connected all the missions in California. Can you see the Royal Road ahead of me? Isn't that awesome? Do you know that this road, if we followed it in this part, goes on about another 1.5 miles, and it was put in to connect all the missions in California. Isn't that cool? So I'm walking on a 200-year-old road right now. You want to walk on it with me? Come on. All right. Oh, look, should we show them the donkeys? Should we go show them Mama Sita and Baby Sita? So this is really cool. This is baby Sita and this is Mama Sita. And did you know that Mama Sita knows how to fist bump? Watch. Hi, Mama Sita. Good girl. Oh, yeah. We love Mama Sita and baby Sita. Let's go see if we can say hi to the horses. Come on over this way. We'll go see. Shall we fist bump again? Let's see if she'll do it again. Ready? Whoop. Yeah, that's my girl. Did you know that burros have really soft foreheads, really soft ears? She has the nicest ears. Hi, sweet girl. And Mama Sita is about 20 years old. So she's a wonderful old gal. Hey, Madre. So this is Madre. She's thirsty. She's going to have a little drink of water. Aren't you beautiful? Hi, Miss Madre. Miss Madre represents the horses here at the mission, and horses were used by the soldiers to travel from mission to mission, and also to manage the almost 300,000 acres that was here at La Purisima Mission. When I say 300,000 acres, what that looks like in our terms today would be that if we went from that side of our land over to that side of our land, we would travel about 30 miles. And if we started back this way and we drove up this way, we would cover about 60 miles. It's a big area of land, and horses were ridden about 20 miles a day, and then they run out of gas. And unlike a car, you don't get to fill them back up. They need to rest just like we do. And so they would have to spend the night somewhere, and sometimes they would get another horse so that they would have a fresh horse ready to ride another 20. So they spent a lot of time on horseback here at the mission, those soldiers did. She's not feeling friendly today. That's great. Oh, hi, Big Red. He's making funny faces. Hey, do you see the big red ball out there in their corral? At home, what do you think that is for? Why is that out there? Well, horses are really smart creatures, and they're also very playful. And so that's their ball to play with. You might notice it has ropes on it. That's so they can pull it with their teeth and play with it with each other. So it's they have a lot of fun with that. It's pretty cool. Let's go see the fountains over here. I want to show you where they did laundry and got their fresh water. Are you going to knock over your feed tray? Let's go this way. This is our mission laundry mat. We call it the lavanderia. And so if this were dirty or if my clothes needed washing, I would come here with my soap and my pitcher like we used for our cooking today, and I would fill it with clean water, and I would lay my dirty clothes here and I would rinse them. And then I would take my soap and I would get my wet clothes nice and sudsy, lots of lathering. I would take more clean water. I would pour it over my clothes so all the lather would wash out with the dirt. And then do you see this gutter right here? Take a look. This is where the dirty water would go. And if we follow it right over this way, follow along with me, you're going to see that it all goes in here. And then there's a drain right there. And if we were to follow that drain right over here, look, it goes into the cistern. Ta-da! This is where the dirty water would go. It would be water that we would not drink or use for ourselves. But if we look down below, do you see the hole in the bottom of the cistern over there on the wall? So that's the drain where the dirty water would go out. And if we look, come on over here. Everybody come over here. Let's take a look. Can you see the gutter just beyond the hole? That's called the aqueduct. And the aqueduct would take the dirty water out to, guess what? The corn crops. And it would water the corn crops and help them grow so that the mission people could gather the corn and what? Make tortillas. Isn't that cool? All right. Hey, come on over here and we'll finish out our Junior Ranger program with our Junior Ranger pledge. You guys can pretend like you're the kids at home, okay?
Yes.
All right, super. So everybody, raise your right hand.
Space out.
We got to keep our social distance here, right? Okay, raise your right hand and I'll get closer. You guys stay back here. And you say, I say your name, and
I, Kelly,
promise to
promise to
treat the earth
treat the earth
and all living things
and all living things
with respect
with respect
and to learn about nature
and to learn about nature
and our history
and our history
and to take care of our parks forever.
and to take care of our parks forever.
There you go. You at home are now official Junior Rangers if you've never done that before. And our team at our Ports program is going to be contacting your parents and making sure you get your digital badge for cooking along with us today and learning how to make mission tortillas. Hey, we loved having you with us today, and we hope you join us again next time for Fun at the Mission with our Junior Ranger programs. Check out more Junior Ranger programs at ports.ca.gov. Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming.